I'm thrilled to be here with people that are considering a career in healthcare. I can tell you from personal experience and from the experience of my colleagues that a career in healthcare can be one of the most fulfilling and satisfying things that you could ever imagine. But I can also tell you from my role as a state regulator that unless certain criteria are met, a career in healthcare can be something that you'll regret for years to come. In the first few minutes of my talk, I'm going to explain to you the criteria for a successful career in healthcare. I will then spend the remainder of my time talking about complementary and alternative medicine in its role in contemporary healthcare. I will then give you a practical example of alternative medicine that you can test out right now or try at home. I want to start by talking to you about something that is both intimate and extremely personal. Purpose. Now, purpose is defined as the reason for which something is done or created, a lasting intention to achieve a long-term goal that is both personally meaningful and makes a positive mark on the world. Simply stated, a purpose is the result intended. The result intended. The result intended. So, who can give me the definition of the word purpose in their own words? Yes.
I guess it could be identified as the reason to do something.
Exactly. Yes, sir.
I was going to say something similar along the lines of purpose is a reason why something is done in a certain way, and it can also explain why they took the steps to get there.
Exactly. Thank you so much. So when you take the word purpose, it always has to do something with the reason something is done. And a person may not know what their purpose in life is, but if you take a look at what you want to achieve, if you take a look at the results you want to achieve, you can track that back and find your purpose. Now, we all have many purposes. Of course, economic purposes to make money, purposes for personal gain are some of them, and then service is also another type of purpose. So for this particular workshop, we're going to exclude the money and the personal gain, which are perfectly valid purposes, and focus on service. How you want to service other people. How would you like to help other people? What's the results that you would like to achieve from your interaction with other people? Now, here's an example from my files. This is a female. Her mind and body felt out of balance. She complained that she had difficulty coping with everyday life. She had poor stamina. She had temporary mood swings. And she said that her mind and body felt out of balance. Well, I put her on a program of natural health care, supplementation, and a few really easy lifestyle changes. And this is what she wrote several months later. Now, who can read this for me? Yeah, go ahead. Baritz, but you go, that's fine, yeah.
For having the compassion and passion to find healing for people to get them well. Dr. Baritz and his intense desire to know all he can about holistic healing, and then enthusiastically sharing it with his patients has given me hope for an emotionally strong life. I came to him several months ago confused, tired, drained, mind in fog, unstable mentally and physically. He and his products have given me life back and beyond.
Thank you. So this is my product. This is what I get up in the morning for. This is what I go to work for. This is what I think about all the time. So now, looking at that product, you could track it back to my purpose. And my purpose is to help people live better naturally. Now, I hadn't fully voiced this purpose till really only a few years ago when I was looking at my career in healthcare and taking a look at the various purposes, the various results I achieved. But even though I hadn't fully voiced it, I was drawn to it like a magnet, of like gravity pulled me to this purpose. Every course I took, the studies that I did, the things that I attempted, the things that I purchased, these all were aligning, with this purpose. Now, let's take a look at service from your perspective. Who would like to share a result that you would like to achieve? Yes.
I would like to help my friends with any personal struggles they're going through. I would also like to help other people doing that.
Thank you. Who else would like to share a result that they would like to achieve? Yes.
I want to help teenagers and adolescents navigate their lives better.
Wonderful. So I'm sure you'll do well with that. One more, please. Yes.
Educate others on their health and well-being.
Great. Fabulous. So I'm sure you know, and I'm positive you know by this time in your career as a high school student, that anything worthwhile has barriers, and there are obstacles and distractions. And really, to achieve anything worthwhile, I suggest that you identify your purpose for serving others, you bust through those barriers, whatever it's going to take, you ignore the distractions, which means you're going to have to give something up to do something else, and you pour your energy, your intelligence, and your heart into the achievement of the intended results. With those criteria in place, there's little chance for failure in a career in healthcare. If those criteria are not in place, then I'd be sorry for you. I would suggest that you find another career. Holistic medicine. Holistic medicine is a whole body approach to healthcare. It aims to improve health and wellness through the body, the mind, and the soul. Usually, holistic medicine combines traditional medicine and complementary and alternative medicine, known as CAM. Complementary and alternative medicine is a treatment that falls outside of mainstream healthcare. Examples would be acupuncture, herbal medicine, Tai Chi, chiropractic, and others. Now you're going to hear these terms, complementary, integrative, alternative. Let's take a look at what they mean. When non-mainstream practice is used together with conventional medicine, it's considered complementary or integrative. For example, acupuncture used to relieve nausea and vomiting caused by chemotherapy. Now, when non-mainstream practice is used instead of conventional medicine, it's considered alternative. Of course, for example, when a person goes to a chiropractor instead of a medical doctor for back pain. Now, of course, there can be some overlap between the two, and acupuncture can be used as a sole alternative medicine, and chiropractic can be used as a complementary medicine. So, what are the basic principles of CAM? Prevention is key to good health. Taking steps to improve your health before you get sick is the best way to maintain your health. A healthy lifestyle that promotes a balanced diet, regular exercise, and proper sleep creates the best foundation for wellness. So that's principle number one. So while you might go to see your physician once a year for a checkup and maybe see him if you get sick or break something, for the holistic practitioner, you might see him or her several times a year for checkups and to keep on track to keep yourself healthy. Principle number two, your body has the ability to heal itself. Alternative medicine practitioners help your body do its own healing via natural healing processes. And principle number three, learning and healing go hand in hand. Alternative medicine practitioners emphasize a healing partnership that is key to the healing process. So, for example, when I went in to have root canal, it was just done to me. All I had to do was show up, open up my mouth, and they did the work. But if you go to a complementary healthcare practitioner, there's a partnership. The doctor will do something, and you will absolutely have some homework assignments to do at home that will be integral to improving your health, and we'll see that in an example I'll give you in a few minutes. Learning and healing go hand in hand. When I went to get my root canal done, I really didn't have to learn anything. It wasn't part of the process. It was a necessary process, but learning was not part of it. But in alternative medicine, or alternative medicine practitioners emphasize a healing partnership as a key part to the healing process. You're here to empower the individual to take control of their own health. And number 4, holistic health care. The focus is on recognizing that physical health, mental well-being, relationships, and spiritual health are all interconnected. Now, let's take a look at a patient that benefited from integrative health care. Chronic hiccups. Well, hiccups lasting longer than 48 hours are classified as chronic and are actually considered to be a serious medical condition. In addition to being incredibly irritating, chronic hiccups often disrupt sleep and make it difficult to eat or drink. Raise your hand if you've ever had hiccups. Okay, very good. So now I'd like you to imagine in your mind's eye having those hiccups for 20 minutes. Now imagine in your mind's eye having those hiccups for 5 hours. Now, can you imagine how you would feel if you had the hiccups for 2 weeks? Chronic hiccups. 11 months ago, I received a call from a friend who asked if I could help her husband who developed arrhythmia. Now, who can tell me what arrhythmia is? Yes?
It's the bad rhythm of the heart.
That's right. The heart, instead of having its regular rhythm, it develops this odd rhythm. So I received this call from my friend. Her husband received arrhythmia. She knew something about what I did. So I said, well, how did it start? Well, it started with hiccups that had persisted for days. He was unable to sleep and had difficulty eating. He was exhausted and becoming increasingly more anxious. Finally, he was seen at the ER of a local hospital and he was admitted. During his stay at the hospital, he developed an arrhythmia. It was transferred to the CCU, the Cardiac Care Unit. The recommended treatment was cardioversion. Now, who can tell me what cardioversion is? Okay, fair enough. So cardioversion is a procedure where they use certain electrodes to stop the heart and then to restart it. It's literally rebooting the heart. Of course, the patient's on anesthesia, and this is a serious procedure because they're basically going to stop your heart. So when the heart has this off rhythm, the idea is let's just stop the heart, restart it, and it will restart with the normal rhythm as intended by your body. So that's what they wanted to do with him. However, they were reluctant to do that procedure while he still had these hiccups. Now, this was mid-COVID. So his wife, of course, couldn't visit him, and I certainly wouldn't be allowed into the CCU. So let's say this was your patient. This was your personal friend. They were looking for help, but you couldn't even see them. What would you do? What would you want to do? Well, fortunately, acupuncture has been helping people with gastrointestinal problems for thousands of years. And in my subspecialty of acupressure, acupuncture therapy, I created a series of videos which I have online. So I created a video for these hiccups. And so what I did was I talked to his wife, showed her the video, she watched the video, and then by phone she guided her husband through it because he didn't have the internet available to him. Well, after several minutes of doing these treatments, his hiccups began to fade away. They became less severe and intermittent. The next morning, he reported that he had gotten the best night's sleep ever. Within 48 hours, the arrhythmia disappeared. He was moved out of the ICU into a regular hospital bed for observation. 24 hours later, he was released from the hospital. So, records show that acupuncture has been helping people since 100 BCE, before the Common Era. And acupuncture is more popular now than it's ever been before. Thousands of studies have demonstrated its effectiveness for many conditions. Acupuncture is recognized by the U.S. Institutes for Health and the World Health Organization. Acupuncture is practiced in many hospitals and in medical facilities. So how does it work? Well, it's actually pretty simple. If you could imagine a river or stream of water energy starting at the eye, reaching the jaw, going into two branches, one branch going up, one branch going down to the toes, and then cycling back up to the hip, that's the first start. Now let's say if you could imagine like a blockage or a barrier right over here. So the water energy is flowing down. There's a block over here. So what's going to happen above the blockage? Who could tell me? That's right. There'll be a buildup, swelling, heat, stagnation, maybe toxicity. And what's going to happen below the buildup, below the barrier? What'd you say? That's right. It doesn't get water. It doesn't get energy. So area below becomes weak, susceptible to injury or illness. All acupuncturist does is he removes the barrier so your energy can balance itself. Now, sometimes when we remove the barrier, we don't do it by hitting the exact point where the barrier is. We do it by hitting another location. But you're extremely familiar with this. Look at all these electric lights. They are fed by a river of energy in a conduit. Well, I don't have to unscrew that bulb if I want to turn it off. I can go to that light switch and turn it off. So the use of a remote point to address a barrier or to address an energy point is quite common. So what I'd like to do now is give you a practical demonstration of how you can use acupuncture or acupressure points to relieve stress and anxiety. I'm going to play you a short video to show you how it's done, and then those of you who are interested will just give it a try. Hello. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how to use 3 acupuncture points to get rapid release from stress and anxiety. It seems we can't escape stress. Finances, work, health, relationships, obligations, politics, security, and other issues can be sources of stress. Any one of these can cause feelings of stress and anxiety. I'm going to show you how to use 3 acupuncture points to feel better fast. These points have been helping people manage stress for thousands of years. It is believed that these points work by reducing nervous system overload. My name is Dr. Baritz. I'm a chiropractor, nutritionist, herbalist, and I'm certified in acupoint physical medicine. I've helped thousands of people live healthier and happier lives, and I want to help you too. The easiest and most convenient point to relieve stress and anxiety is Heart 7. Heart 7 is known as Spirit Gate. In addition to promoting relaxation, Heart 7 is used to help with chest pain, irritation, poor memory, and rapid heartbeat. In Asia, Heart 7 has been used to help persons with autism. To find Heart 7, look at the palm of your hand. Notice there's a crease right at the wrist point. There may be a couple of creases. If there are, just pick the crease that's closest to your palm. Follow along the crease until you reach the pinky side. Right at the end of the crease, if you push in, there'll be a tender spot there. It might be slightly higher, slightly to left or right, or slightly lower. But there will be a spot that is a little bit more tender. That's heart 7. This point is best stimulated by tapping with your finger or with the round out notation if you have one. It might look like this. Or remember, this point is stimulated with a gentle tapping, which should not be painful or unpleasant. Tap rapidly 5 times, rest for a count of 5, then repeat 4 more times. Now find heart 7 on your other hand and repeat. During or shortly after stimulating heart 7, you may notice a sensation of heat or energy in your hand, arm, head, or face. This is normal and temporary. After stimulating heart 7, take a few deep breaths and see if you don't notice some heat in your face or ears. The next point that I recommend to relieve stress is conception vessel 17. Now there's a difference between an acupuncture meridian, which is a line running this way on the body, and a vessel. You can think of a meridian like a river or stream that transports energy or chi from one area of the body to another to achieve harmony. You can think of a vessel like a lake or a reservoir. Acupuncture vessels are said to collect, conserve, and increase vital energy. Activating conception vessel 17 helps build and restore your internal energy. Conception vessel 17 is known as center chest, and in addition to treating stress, it is used to help with heart palpitations, chest pains, asthma, insufficient lactation, and to soothe breathing difficulties. Conception vessel 17 is located at the midline of your chest between your nipples. Press into this area and find a spot that is sensitive, tender, or painful. That is conception vessel 17. Conception vessel 17 is stimulated by rubbing or pulsing on it 5 times rapidly, taking a break for a count of 5, and repeating 4 more times. If you use your finger, it might look like this. If you use a Tei Shin, it might look like this. After stimulating conception vessel 17, you may notice a sensation of heat or energy in your head, chest, or pelvis. This is normal and temporary. Yin Tang is the third and perhaps most powerful acupuncture point for stress and anxiety. Yin Tang is known as the Hall of Impressions. In addition to treating stress, Yin Tang is used to reduce eye strain, headaches, and sinus issues. Yin Tang has been used to reduce all types of pain and improve upper body strength. Yin Tang is located between the inner ends of the eyebrows on a bony prominence called the glabella. Yin Tang is best treated with a gentle tapping motion. Tap rapidly 5 times, take a break for a count of 5, and repeat 4 more times, like this. After activating Yin Tang, you may notice a sensation of heat or energy in your eyes, ears, face, or head. This is therapeutic, normal, and temporary. These 3 points are intended to reduce nervous system overload and allow you to more calmly face and handle the sources of stress in your life. All right, well, thank you very much for watching that. I saw some of you try these points out. I'm going to review them now if you want to just try it one more time or if you haven't had a chance to. So the first one is heart 7. So just go ahead and find your wrist. There's a wrist crease here. Move towards the pinky finger side and push in to find a tender spot. There'll be a tender spot there. Sensitive, sore, tender, or painful. Go ahead and tap that 5 times rapidly. Take a break for count of 5 and repeat 4 more times. And then just look at me when you've done that. All right, very good. So go ahead and find it on your other side. Tap that 5 times rapidly. Take a break for count of 5 and repeat 4 more times. All right, very good. So the next one is conception vessel 17. This is center chest. You want to push in there deep. This can be incredibly sensitive, but go ahead and find it and then massage it deep 5 times. Take a break for a count of 5 and repeat 4 more times. Go ahead, give it a try. This is a great point for the heart. All right, very good, very good. Now the final one is yin tang. Now yin tang is a point that is well known around the world because of its potent effect. If you go to India, you'll see Hindu women have a spot or they put a makeup spot right above that. That's for religious purposes. We're not doing it for religious purposes, but it's marked because they understand the power of this point. So if you get right there between your eyebrows, push in. There's going to be a spot that is sensitive, sore, tender, or painful. Go ahead and tap that 5 times rapidly. Take a break for a count of 5 and repeat 4 more times. All right, well, thank you very much for doing this. Now, many times you'll feel calmer or more relaxed after doing these points, or you'll feel heat or energy in your body. However, it may require a number of treatments to feel the exact results. So I leave you with this quote from Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison, of course, was the inventor of the light bulb. He invented the telephone. He was a visionary. He saw the future, and this is what he saw as the future for healthcare. The doctor of the future will give no medication, but will interest his patients in the care of the human frame, diet, and in the cause and prevention of disease. I will tell you this, the most important thing, and it may not seem that way to you now, but really the most important thing that you own are your own principles and your own sense of right and wrong and fair play. And if you stick to those, no matter all the sort of distractions or promotion to do health-wise, you have a real good chance of having a very satisfying and full life. Thank you very much. I wish you well in your career.